everything right, it was you and me.
Hello everyone, my name is Nayeema and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. And today we have a recommendation video. In 2023, I am trying to go back to my usual format of filming videos, which is on every Friday I give you guys a new recommendation video. I think I started this back in 2021 where every Friday was like recommendation Friday, and I really want to bring that back. I love recommending books to you guys. I have so many lists to do that, and you guys really enjoyed that as well, so we're bringing it back in 2023. And my first recommendation video of 2023 is going to be a trope that I've never done before, which is one night stand, two lovers, which honestly, looking at my list, I realize I don't read a lot of. Usually it's not something that I seek out, it just happens to be there, and then I'm like, oh, let me add it to the list. But I end up really enjoying all of the like one night stands to lovers tropes that I read. Most of them don't really intend on seeing that person again, but randomly they show up in their lives and it's like, oh crap, you're here? I hooked up with you. I did not expect to ever see you again. And then sometimes they do have that intention, but usually they don't with the one night stand, because hello, it's a one night stand. Yeah, I have some really good books to recommend for today's video. If you guys have read any books where this happens, let me know in the comments down below. I would love to add them to my TBR and get some recommendations from you guys. So without further ado, let's get right into one night stand, two lovers romance books. Okay, so the first one that I'm going to recommend, I read this back, I want to say in 2020, and I loved it so much, and that is The Stopover by T.L. Swan. This book is fantastic. Also, if you've read Dirty Headlines by L.J. Shen, this book reminds me a lot of Dirty Headlines, so that one was also one night stand to lovers. I'm not going to recommend that one in today's video. We have The Stopover here. The Stopover follows our heroine. Our heroine is on a flight going to New York from London, I believe. She is seated next to a really good looking guy. She was seated next to a really good looking guy in first class, and they're talking, laughing, enjoying each other's companies. Everything is good and dandy. There was an unexpected stopover. I forgot where and what city, that's irrelevant, but there's a stopover, and because they hit it off so much, they decide to continue hanging out. They have this extra night in just a random city before their plane takes off again, so they decide to have fun, and they do, and they hook up. That was 12 months ago, and now, a year later, they are reunited. She is starting a new job in New York City, working at a media news outlet, news company thing. She does not expect the CEO of the company to be the guy that she hooked up with 12 months ago during her stopover on her way to New York. Amazing. I thought that everything about this book was just so much fun. The smut in here, T.L. Swan's smut is just so unmatched. I haven't read that many from her. I think I've only read 2 or 3 of hers, and each time I'm like flabbergasted at the smut, like, because she can write some really good smut. The dynamics in here, Grumpy Sunshine, I loved it so much because when they first met on the plane and they first like hooked up or whatever, that was not the case. Our hero was such kind of like a goofball on the plane, really flirty and bantery, and obviously this is a different setting because now they work together and he is her boss, but he is so grumpy and so serious, and she's kind of the sunshiny character trying to break out into like the news outlet, cable news industry, newspaper. I don't even remember if it was like cable news or newspaper, but it was news in some capacity. Jamie, the hero, was just such an asshole, like, but he was so cute, and like I just love reading about assholes, but you can like very clearly see that he's an asshole with a soft spot for her. It was clever and captivating. It also had some jealousy in there, which I know that we all love. It was just great, and I would highly recommend this for one night stands to lovers. The next book that I'm gonna recommend is Tuck Me Secretly by Odette Stone, and I believe I recommended this in another video years ago. I think it was in my Forbidden Romances video from like either 2020 or 2021, but I love this book so much. So we have our heroine and our hero, and similarly to The Stopover, these two meet on they're seated next to each other. I believe they don't really talk that much, but they are seated next to each other, and then all of a sudden the plane starts kind of going down and there's turbulence and people are going crazy. Our heroine is freaking out. She's like, oh my gosh, I can't die, I can't die. I haven't even had an orgasm. I'm just gonna say it. I haven't even had an orgasm yet. Oh, I can't say it. My family watches these. I haven't even had a big O yet, if you know what that means. She hasn't had a big O yet, and she's like freaking out. I can't die, I haven't had a big O yet. What am I gonna do? I'm literally gonna die on this plane. And so our hero is seated next to her and sees her flipping her crap, and he's like, we're gonna make it out of this alive, and when we do, I will give you a big O, and you're gonna be fine, and you're gonna live your life. Even he's a bit scared, but he's like putting it down to help her because she's literally losing her shit. So naturally, because we wouldn't have a book without it, they make it out of it alive, and he follows through with his promise to give her an orgasm, and they have a great night. She has many orgasms. She knows now what sex is supposed to be like, and she just loved her time. She's planning on leaving it behind, and she's gonna go about her business. Wrong, that's not what happened. The heroine, Rory, her father is the team manager of the Vancouver Wolves, I believe, a hockey team. She is now working for the Vancouver Wolves underneath her father, and she finds out that Max, the guy that she hooked up with that faithful night where she almost died, is the newest player on the Vancouver Wolves team. Obviously, the romance is off limits, and it would not be good if they hooked up. She's in training to become the general manager of the team. It just isn't gonna work out, so it's forbidden. I really thought that these two had such insane chemistry. I thought everything about their relationship was just so much fun. I love a good taboo, forbidden romance, so this just like served me everything on a platter. Max, the hero, was so protective over Rory, which I love. Obviously, they have to hook up, but in secret, and they both know they shouldn't be doing it, and it's so much fun. And that is the next book that I am recommending for one night stand to lovers. Also, the sun's going down as I film this. If the lighting gets super bad, I am very sorry. The next book that I'm going to recommend is Indigo Ridge by 𝓼𝓸𝓬𝓲𝓪 Perry. This is a book that I recently read back in December. I really enjoyed this book. I ended up giving it 4 stars, so I had to recommend it for you guys. So we have our heroine, and she just moved to this small town called Quincy, where she is about to become the new chief of police, the new head of the police in this very small town. So this is going to be her first time like being a head of police chief anywhere. She's really nervous about her job, but she is also super excited. She has visited Quincy so much when she was a child. Her grandfather lived there. She has really fond memories in Quincy, so the fact that she's moving here is super exciting to her. On her first night in Quincy, I believe she goes to a bar, and there she meets the hero. These two get to talking. They end up hooking up her very first night in Quincy. Hero is one of the Edens. The whole series is called the Edens. His family is super influential in Quincy. They're kind of like founding family members, I think. They kind of run shit because of this, and he's in a small town, but also in the public eye, because in a small town, all your gossip is just like fun out there for everybody to gossip with. He has a rule for himself, and that is to not hook up with locals. He thought he was hooking up with this girl just passing through town. That was not the case. He just hooked up with the town's new chief police. When he finds this out, he is naturally pissed off. He's like, oh crap, like I did not think that you were staying. So there's a little bit of animosity a little bit there, because he broke his own rule and he didn't mean to do that. Also, while this is going on, there is a big mystery that's happening in Quincy. Recently, so many people have been committing suicide. Young girls have been committing suicide, and everybody is just passing it off as, oh, it's a suicide. But our heroine, being new to the town and doing some digging and researching, she does not think that is completely the case. She's talking to family friends of the girls who died, and they're like, no, we had no idea. This is just like, we had no idea that they were suicidal, which obviously is sometimes the case, but it just didn't sit right with our heroine. So she decides to do some digging and find out what's really going on. So it has that like romantic thriller aspect as well. As that's going on, our heroine and our hero are kind of exploring a bit of a relationship. They are always together because, like I said, he's really important in this town and she's now the police chief, and they run into each other places, always are running into each other, always is a reason for them to meet and talk about what's happening in the town. Yeah, this one is a really good one night stand to lovers romance. I will say that this book isn't as spicy as the other books that I recommended so far. It is really good and really interesting, especially with the whole plot of the mystery going on. Okay, so my camera died, so sorry sorry about if there were any angle changes, but the next book that I have to recommend for you guys is The Lawyer by Marnie Mann. I read this one over the summer and I really enjoyed it. So this is obviously one night stand to lovers. We have our heroine Kendall and then our hero Dominic Dalton. So this series is the Dalton Brothers series. This is the first one, I believe, in the series, and each one follows a different Dalton brother. So our heroine Kendall is a graphic artist and she just moved to Hollywood to become a personal assistant for her famous sister. Her sister is a reality TV star and her sister really needs her help, so she decides to put everything on hold in her life and go and help out her sister. Kendall and Dominic meet at a bar one night in the very beginning of the book and they decide to have a one-night stand. They both have such a great time. It's so hot, so steamy, and then they go their separate ways. Kendall is starting her first day of work, working for her sister as her personal assistant, and Dominic is a lawyer and he has to get to an important business meeting. How things go in romance books, they find themselves in the exact same meeting and they find out that Dominic, the guy that Kendall just hooked up with, is actually her sister's lawyer. Dominic is kind of looking at Kendall in a new light. He believes that Kendall would be perfect for a reality TV role that his friend is currently looking to fill. I will say that this book was so much fun, so hot. Their chemistry was just so sizzling. Like, I could not stop reading this book. Tons and tons of drama. Like I said, Kendall, the heroine, she's come to Hollywood to become her sister's personal assistant, who is actually famous out of the two of them. When Kendall ends up taking this reality TV star role, her sister is pissed. Her sister really has like a big head and is just super conceited, thinks that everybody lives to serve her, is not too happy about Kendall taking this reality TV role. Dominic actually drops the sister as a client. Like, there's just so much drama and it's so good. But honestly, the relationship was amazing. The book kind of seems like a lot and there's just like a lot going on, but it was so much fun. But the relationship really keeps you there. Daisy, Kendall's sister, just makes such a good villain and it was so much fun to read about. There is a very powerful Hollywood backdrop, so beware of that. If you don't really enjoy reading about celebrities and like Hollywood, I would stay away from this. I love reality TV. It's one of my favorite things. Real Housewives is honestly therapy for me every week, multiple times a week. So if you don't like reality TV, if you don't like Hollywood, then I would stay away from this one. But this is a very hot and quick and short read. Their chemistry was just really amazing, and the smut, so hot. And the last book that I'm going to recommend is a bit different than the previous books that I've recommended, and that is The Heart Principle by Helen Hoang. This book had the intention, or at least the story had the intention, of being a one-night stand. That didn't work out that way, and then they become lovers, and it's so good. So we have our heroine Anna, and she is really struggling. She went viral playing the violin, and ever since she went viral, she is just struggling. She finds herself not being able to play the, I think it was either the cello, I think it was the cello, as good as she did in that video. People are kind of losing interest in her. She's always trying to live up to that. Also, her boyfriend of 5 years just broke up with her. She is going through it. A lot is going on in her life. Anna decides that she wants to just kind of go on a bunch of one-night stand dates. She wants to just see what's out there for her, and she downloads a dating app. Anna meets Quan on this dating app, who we've met many times in the Kiss Quotient and the Bride Test, and they decide to start texting. They're hitting off really great. When it comes down to the one-night stand, Anna cannot do it. They try again for a second time. Anna cannot do it. They try again for the third time. Anna cannot do a one-night stand with Quan. She just can't. She really enjoys her connection with Quan. It's so much more than sex for them. Something happens in Anna's family that is honestly like the tipping point for her. She's already been going through so much, but Quan is there to help her, and it is it is so emotional. There is awesome representation in here for autism. Anna is autistic. You just get such good exploration of finding out that she is autistic and what that looks like for her, and her feeling like she's never been able to fit in anywhere, and there's a reason why she doesn't react the same to things that her family and other people in her life do. And for her to finally get answers was just super healing for Anna. And honestly, the reader, I felt so much for Anna and what she went through, and her being able to explore herself more was so interesting to me. The relationship between Quan and Anna was just so loving and nurturing and so beautiful. I loved it so much. he was always there for Anna. Anna, like I said, was going through so much, and so he was always there for her. He was going through a lot as well. He had cancer, I believe. They are both just healing each other and healing themselves while being together. It was just such a stunning, emotional book. I loved it, as you can tell. So this is a bit different than my other one-night stand books that I recommended. Those ones were like, oh, they had a one-night stand and they had it in graphic detail. This one is really more of an attempted one-night stand, and then second night stand, and then third night stand, two lovers, and I love it so much. So that was the last book that I am recommending for one night stand to lovers. I'm so sorry about the lighting and how much it changed during this video, but nonetheless, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to leave a big like and a comment down below, and also subscribe so you never miss another upload from me. If you have made it this far in the video, make sure to leave me a red heart, and also let me know what other recommendation videos you guys want from me in the future. Like I said, I'm super excited to bring back recommendation Fridays. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm doing tons of reading, and in my tropes list are long and hefty, so yeah, I'm excited. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. I love you all so much, and I will see you very shortly in a new video. Bye.
If I got one thing right, it was you and me.